You're listening to I've Been Cooking, where chefs and food lovers take apart delicious dishes and piece by piece tell the story of how they're made. I'm Andrea, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Welcome to the deep dive.
No.
We deep dive into something you might be curious about. And today we're going to be looking at Zaatar Mana Esh,
Oh, fun.
which is this Middle Eastern flatbread that's more than just like a simple breakfast.
Right.
And by the way, the I've Been Cooking app
Yeah.
can help you whip one up now that it's launched on the Google Play Store.
Oh, nice.
So
Cool.
check that out, along with all of our other socials at I've Been Cooking.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a lot of times you might hear this called Middle Eastern pizza,
Yeah.
but that really doesn't capture the history or the nuance
It really doesn't.
of this dish.
It's a beloved breakfast item
Yeah.
throughout the Levant region.
Hmm.
And the name itself is it's evocative.
Yeah.
Mana esh
Yeah.
comes from the Arabic word for to carve out,
Hmm.
referencing how the dough is traditionally prepared.
So right off the bat, we're seeing this blend of practicality and artistry.
Exactly. And it carries through to the star ingredient,
Yeah.
za'atar.
Yeah, this spice blend
Potentially.
potentially dates back to ancient Egypt,
Yeah,
which is amazing.
it is.
But it isn't just delicious.
No.
They also believed it to have medicinal properties.
Right.
So
Yeah.
ancient Egyptians
Yeah.
using za'atar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fascinating to think that we think of spices as just,
Right.
for taste,
Right.
but historically they played a much bigger role.
Absolutely. They were used in rituals
Right.
for preserving food
Right.
and, like you mentioned, for their medicinal benefits.
Yeah.
So think of za'atar as
Yeah.
this delicious window into that ancient world.
Yeah.
It's this blend of thyme and oregano,
Okay.
marjoram sumac,
Mm.
and toasted sesame seeds.
Toasted sesame seeds. You had me at toasted sesame seeds.
Right.
But seriously, that blend sounds incredible.
It is.
Earthy, citrusy.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this isn't something that you just sprinkle on at the end.
It's definitely more than a sprinkle. It's worked into the dough, infusing it with flavor.
Oh, wow.
And speaking of dough,
Yeah.
the process of making manish likely evolved alongside other regional flatbreads,
Oh, wait.
becoming a staple for like a hearty and flavorful start to the day.
So if we were transported back in time,
Yeah.
like a few centuries or something,
Okay.
what would a typical breakfast featuring manish,
Okay.
what would that look like?
Imagine the sun is rising, casting this warm glow over a bustling marketplace.
Okay.
You find yourself at this small bakery.
Okay.
The air is filled with this intoxicating aroma of freshly baked bread.
Okay, you're really painting a picture here. I can almost smell it.
You're handed a mana esh still warm from the oven, and the za'atar and sesame seeds
Yeah.
create this beautiful mosaic on top.
Okay.
And alongside it,
Yep.
you'll likely have selection of fresh vegetables,
Okay.
like juicy tomatoes, crisp cucumbers, maybe some olives for that salty tang.
That sounds like the perfect balance of flavors and textures.
So,
Already.
and then for a creamy counterpoint, there's labneh,
Okay.
which is a strain yogurt cheese.
Okay.
And its tanginess complements that earthiness of the za'atar.
Okay.
And of course, no breakfast is complete without a steaming cup of mint tea
Oh, yeah.
or a strong aromatic coffee.
It's amazing how, this simple flatbread
Right.
becomes this whole sensory experience.
That's the beauty of mana esh.
Yeah.
It's more than just food. It's a tradition.
Yeah.
It's a gathering point, a celebration of flavor and community.
Well, now I'm even more curious about how this all comes together.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the recipe itself.
Yeah.
What are the key ingredients?
Well, you've got your staples,
Yeah.
flour, water, yeast,
Okay.
a touch of sugar and salt,
Hmm.
and of course that glorious olive oil,
Yeah.
a hallmark of Mediterranean cuisine.
But I have a feeling it's the technique that really elevates this dish.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It all starts with waking up the yeast. So we combine warm water with the yeast and a pinch of sugar,
Okay.
creating the perfect environment for the yeast to activate
Okay.
and start working its magic.
So why is the temperature of the water so crucial in this initial step?
Warm water acts as a catalyst,
Okay.
providing the ideal conditions for the yeast to multiply and release carbon dioxide. And this creates those beautiful air pockets
Yeah.
that give mana esh its like light and airy texture.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot for the yeast to thrive.
Precisely too hot, and you risk killing the yeast too cold, and it might not activate properly.
Right.
It's a delicate dance.
Once our yeast is happily bubbling away, What's next?
We bring in the flour.
Okay, so we mix the flour in.
Exactly. We mix the flour and salt with the activated yeast mixture
Okay.
until like a shaggy dough starts to form.
Okay.
This is where we get a little more hands-on.
I'm always up for getting my hands dirty in the kitchen, so we're kneading the dough.
Yes, we knead it for a good 5 to 7 minutes.
Wow.
And this develops the gluten, which gives the bread its structure and that like wonderful chewy texture.
It's almost like we're working out those gluten muscles.
He could say that.
So after all that hard work,
Yeah.
the dough needs a well-deserved rest.
Exactly.
So it's spa time for the dough.
Exactly. We place it in an oiled bowl, cover it with a damp cloth, and let it rise in a warm place for about an hour or until it doubles in size.
While the dough is having its spa day,
Yeah, right?
I'm guessing we could turn our attention to the star of the show,
Yeah.
the Zaatar topping.
Okay.
Is there a trick to getting the perfect consistency?
You want a spreadable consistency, not too runny, not too thick.
Okay.
Think of it as like a slightly loose paste that will easily distribute over the dough without making it soggy.
So it's all about finding that Goldilocks zone, not too runny, not too thick, but just
Right.
right.
Precisely. We achieve this by mixing the za'atar with a little olive oil, just enough to bring it together without making it overly oily.
Okay, so our dough has risen beautifully. The Zaatar topping is ready to go. It's time to shape these manna-ish. Right.
You got it. We gently punch down the risen dough
Right.
to release any excess air and divide it into equal portions.
Okay.
Each portion is then rolled into a ball
Okay.
and allowed to rest for about 10 minutes, giving the gluten a chance to relax before we roll it out into those signature flatbread shapes.
I love how each step is about respecting the dough and giving it the time it needs.
It's all about patience and understanding the rhythm of the dough.
So the dough balls are rested and ready. How do we transform them into those beautiful round flatbreads?
We take each dough ball and on a lightly floured surface, we roll it out into a circle about 1/4 inch thick.
Okay.
Then we carefully place each rolled out circle onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, ready for its final transformation in the oven.
And this is where the magic really happens.
Right.
What temperature are we looking at to achieve those perfectly golden, crispy edges?
We're going for a hot oven.
Okay.
We bake the manna-ish at 475 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
This high temperature ensures that the bread cooks quickly and evenly.
I can practically hear the sizzle already. How long do they need to bake at that temperature?
We're looking at around 7 to 10 minutes, but it's always best to keep a watchful eye, especially towards the end. You'll know they're ready when the edges turn a light golden brown and become crispy to the touch.
Those visual cues are so important in baking.
They are.
It's all about knowing what to look for.
Exactly. And for those seeking extra crispiness, try baking them directly on a pizza stone.
Oh.
The stone absorbs and distributes heat evenly, resulting in a phenomenal crust.
That's a great tip. Okay. The manna-ish are out of the oven. The aroma is filling the kitchen. What's the best way to enjoy these fresh-baked beauties?
Manna-ish is best enjoyed straight out of the oven while it's still warm and the aromas are at their peak.
Okay.
And remember that delightful spread we discussed earlier? Fresh vegetables, creamy labneh,
Yeah.
a cup of mint tea or coffee.
Right.
It all comes together to create a truly satisfying and memorable experience.
It's more than just a meal. It's a journey for the senses.
It truly is, and it makes you wonder about other culinary traditions around the world that offer similar combinations of flavor and potential health benefits.
That's a thought-provoking question. What other culinary treasures might be out there just waiting to be discovered?
Right. That's what's so exciting about food. It's a constant journey of exploration and discovery.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away, let's remind our listeners where they can find the full recipe for Zaatar manna-ish so they can embark on their own culinary adventure.
Absolutely. You can find the complete recipe along with step-by-step instructions and helpful tips on the I've Been Cooking app and website.
We've got you covered every step of the way, from ingredient selection to baking techniques.
So there you have it, folks. Zaatar manna-ish, a simple flatbread with a rich history bursting with flavor and tradition.
It's a testament to the power of food to connect us to the past, to nourish our bodies, and to bring people together around the table.
And speaking of connections, I'm reminded of something you mentioned earlier about this idea of spices as more than just flavor enhancers.
Right.
We were talking about Zaatar's potential medicinal properties.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a whole world of flavor A&D function we're missing out on?
It's quite likely.
Yeah.
Think about like the vibrant colors and aromas of Indian cuisine, turmeric, ginger, cumin.
Yeah.
They're not just delicious.
Yeah.
They're known for their anti-inflammatory properties.
Right.
And then there's the Mediterranean diet,
Right.
rich in herbs like rosemary, oregano, and basil,
Yeah.
all bursting with antioxidants.
It's almost like our ancestors knew something we're just starting to rediscover.
Absolutely. They understood the interconnectedness of food and well-being long before we started analyzing everything in a lab.
That makes you appreciate the wisdom embedded in these culinary traditions.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to explore more.
Right.
Beyond Zaatar and Mana'esh, what other examples of this flavor function connection come to mind?
Well, let's stay in the Mediterranean region for a moment.
Okay.
Have you ever had saffron? It's prized for its distinct aroma and color, but it's also been used for centuries in traditional medicine for its potential mood-boosting and cognitive benefits.
So a pinch of saffron in your paella might be doing more than just adding flavor.
Precisely. And then there's turmeric,
Yeah.
a staple in Indian and Southeast Asian cuisine.
Right.
It's the spice that gives curry its vibrant yellow hue, but it's also a potent anti-inflammatory agent thanks to its active compound curcumin.
We've all heard about the health benefits of turmeric lattes,
Mm.
but I never realized it had such a long history of use.
It really does, and let's not forget about ginger.
Oh.
It's not just for soothing upset stomachs.
Right.
It's also packed with antioxidants and has been used in traditional Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine for centuries.
It's amazing how these everyday spices hold such hidden depths.
It really speaks to the power of nature and the interconnectedness of food and well-being.
So the next time I'm adding spices to my cooking, I'll definitely be thinking about their historical significance and potential health benefits.
And I encourage you to do the same. It adds a whole new dimension to the culinary experience.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. It's made me appreciate Zaatar Mana'esh on a whole new level.
Yeah.
Its history, its cultural significance, and its incredible flavor.
It's a simple flatbread with a powerful story to tell.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
speaking of stories, I'm reminded of something you mentioned earlier about
Okay.
Mana'esh being more than just food.
Right.
You know, it's a tradition, a gathering point.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a specific occasion or time of day where it's most commonly enjoyed?
While it is enjoyed throughout the day,
Okay.
breakfast is truly when Mana'esh shines. It's
Mhm.
that energizing start,
Yeah.
fueling people for the day ahead.
Right.
And it's often a communal experience.
Oh, wow.
Families gathering around the table,
Yeah.
sharing stories as they break bread together.
So it's more than just a meal. It's a ritual that brings people together.
Precisely. And that sense of connection of shared heritage is woven into every bite.
It's amazing how food can have that power to transcend generations,
Mhm.
connect us to our roots.
It really is.
This deep dive has been a wonderful reminder to slow down,
Mm-hmm.
savor the flavors,
Right.
and appreciate the stories behind the food we eat.
Absolutely.
And to remember that even a simple flatbread can hold a world of history, culture, and meaning.
Well said. I think we've given our listeners plenty to chew on today, both literally and figuratively.
I hope so. It's been a pleasure exploring the world of Zaatar Mana'esh with you.
Likewise, and before we sign off, let's remind our listeners where they can find that delicious recipe and continue their exploration.
You can find it all on the I've Been Cooking app and website, along with a world of other culinary adventures waiting to be discovered.
We can't wait to see what you make.
So go forth and bake, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those taste buds tingling.
Happy cooking, everyone, everyone.
Hi, it's Jamie, and if you enjoyed today's episode of I've Been Cooking, we'd love for you to share it. Leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new recipe. Do you know someone who loves cooking as much as you do? Send this episode their way. And hey, let's stay connected. You can find us on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook at I've Been Cooking. Tag us to show off your creations and join a community of food lovers worldwide. And if you want to chat with us directly, we're always hanging out on Discord. You'll find the link to join in the footer of our website at ivebeen.cooking. Until next time.